Hey everybody, happy Monday. I am starting a little bit late today. There were some technical challenges, but I got them resolved, so I'm on. And I actually have a special treat for you before we get started with the questions. So, for those of you who are new, this is your time to ask me any CRA career questions that you might have, anything that's on your mind, any confusion, anything you need clarity on, anything that you've been struggling with. This is your time to ask me any questions that you might have. Oh, and I forgot to say, I want to make sure y'all can hear me and see me. So let me also check LinkedIn and make sure we're on. So type 1 in the comments if you can hear me, and type 2 if you can see me. But I think I saw the message that came through that said we should be good. But let me double check since I had that one malfunction. Okay, yep, I'm live on LinkedIn too. Okay, perfect. So we're good. So as I was saying, this is your time. So go ahead, start dropping. Oh God. I played it. Yeah, so drop, and I see Tina, thank you for letting me know. But what was I gonna say? Yes, so I have a special treat for you, something I want to show you guys before we start answering questions. But if you have questions, you want to be the first one in the comments because I go in the order that they're received. So go ahead, start dropping. I see Kashal already dropping questions. Good job. So please go ahead, keep dropping your questions in the comments so we can go ahead and get the line started. And before we get started, my daughter wanted to come in and say, hey, y'all. So Jordan, say hey to everybody.
Hi.
She said she wanted to say hey. So there you have it. She just came from karate. But anyways, so hi Jesse, hi from Chicago, and let me know where you're joining me from too. I am in the Wake Forest, North Carolina area for those of you who do not know. So let me know. I always like to hear where people are joining us. It's always cool to see all the different people that stop by and pop in. I always appreciate you guys. So Kashal, I see your question. I'm gonna get to it right in a second after I go over this little thing that I want to show y'all, this nice treat surprise I have for you. Um, Hi Tina. And yeah, so go ahead and drop your questions in the comments while I do this. So let me make sure. I think everybody should be able to see this. I think. Let me try to get out of the way. But basically, I want to show you guys it's something that I started a new training on for my clients. And I thought, why not share it with everybody that joins me on Mondays, right? So you can get in on the action too. But essentially, and last week I talked about this a little bit when I first started. I talked about, and I see Kashal, you're from Canada. Shout out to Canada. And Akalia, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Burlington, you're right down the street. Lanisha in Atlanta, and near my hometown area. So yeah, keep the questions coming, keep the locations coming. I see Salima. But I talked about this at the beginning of last week's Q&A, and I talked about how a lot of people are coming to me saying that they're discouraged or they aren't confident or they don't have belief in their capabilities to land the CRA job because they don't have monitoring experience or because they don't have clinical research experience. That's like the number one thing that I keep seeing, that I keep hearing, that I keep getting as for why people think they aren't getting the job and why they feel so discouraged and why they feel like they're in a catch-22 and they're never going to reach their goal. They're never going to, you know, reach their dream. And that's not true, y'all, because I didn't have monitoring experience before I landed my first CRA job. Now, I had some basic clinical research experience, but I did not have monitoring experience. And so, what I'm about to show you is the system, the marketing system that I essentially use for my clients. This is how you can get the job without the monitoring experience. So, and I thought I had started this out, but clearly not. So let me put this first. Jobs become, and my handwriting is not the best. So if you can't read something, let me know. Jobs become aware of you, and then you become aware of job. Okay, I think you should be able to see. So this is the side that I want you guys to focus on, and this is the traditional path that we've been taught, that we've been trained on how to get a job in general. So that's for everybody, CRAs or other roles, right? So this is how we've been taught to get a job. So essentially, we you search for jobs, right? You search for jobs, and then that could be on whatever search engine you use, and then you become aware of the job, and then you apply to the job, right? I don't like this marker. It's not dark enough. So then you become aware of the job, you apply for the job, and then you might have a phone screen. Or you might go straight into the interview. So it could be a phone. I'm gonna put phone screen or interview. It depends on the company. Sometimes phone screen first, interview. You might have a second interview. Depends on the company again, but we're just gonna put it here. But ultimately, these string of interviews will lead to an offer if all goes well, right? If all goes well. If not, then once you apply, a lot of people are saying they're getting a dead end here, right? Because they're getting that automatic rejection email and they can't even get past this step. So they're getting a dead end here. And I think you guys should be able to see it, but let me know if you can't. So they're getting a dead end here. And then some people, they might get their dead end here because they do the first phone screen or they do the first interview, then rejection, right? Some people, they might get their dead end here. They get a little bit further along, but dead end here. Either way, throughout this entire process, it's pretty straightforward. It's just this one system, right? You search, you become aware, you apply, series of interviews, offer. If all goes well, otherwise, there's several possibilities along this path where you can have a dead end and get rejected. And this is when you focus on you becoming aware of the job, the traditional path, and you searching, right? But there's another path. A lot of people think that this is the only way to get a job. It's not. This is the old, outdated, slow, most inefficient way. But when you market yourself, which is what I've been telling you guys about for months now, when you market yourself, then you help jobs become aware of you. So when you market yourself and jobs can become aware of you, then meaning that there's multiple things that can make a job aware of you. And I see Tawana in Little Rock. Hi, Tawana. And Salima's in Florida. So your LinkedIn is like the biggest way, right? And we can put multiple errors from LinkedIn because there's multiple ways that people can become aware of you through LinkedIn if you market yourself right. Right? Like they can DM you, they can see a post, they can see you engaging on somebody else's page, they can see somebody else engaging on your page. LinkedIn just funnels so much into this one side just from having LinkedIn, right? So many ways that a company, a recruiter, a hiring manager can become aware of you. And I see Katrina in Florida. Hi, Katrina. By you just learning how to market yourself. Not only that, you can get referrals. You can get referrals from other coworkers. You can get referrals from friends, right? That's how a job can become aware of you. You can go to conferences. You can go to different events. Before COVID, a lot of them, they had some job fair events in person, specifically where they hired research. And I think, let's see, I want to make sure you can see this part. Now you should be able to see it. There were live CRA recruitment events. Now I've seen them, they do them virtually. So events. Recruiters can find you in other ways from other platforms. If, let's say, some people are posting their resumes on Indeed now, that's another way. But recruiters can then find you in ways themselves through your network. This is all part of marketing too. So if you've built a strong network, a strong contact list, CRA specific contact list, that's another way that jobs can can become aware of you. And there's more ways, y'all. There's more ways, but I just want to focus on, in the interest of time, I'm going to stop it there. But you can see that there's so many things that can be funneled into this path of jobs becoming aware of you. That's marketing. That's marketing. And let me put that up here. This is marketing. So there's lots of ways that jobs can become aware of you, right? And when you do this, when jobs become aware of you versus you following the traditional path and you having to find them, guess what happens? Then you all of a sudden can skip all these steps and you can go straight into the phone screen of the first interview, or you can go to that second interview. Or sometimes, y'all, I've even just gotten an offer. Just an offer. No interviews, just an offer. Like, you can skip all these steps by simply adding this marketing system that I keep telling y'all about. Just that one thing can create so much for you guys. And not only that, when you have this other side, they play off of each other. So now it's back and forth. You do still have this traditional path, but it's back and forth. And not only would you be following this path, because now you have a whole marketing strategy, you would be applying to the jobs that are specifically for you. So you wouldn't be like before with this regular search process. There's like a lot of time that goes into this. You're spending hours, right? Hours searching for the right job, right? What goes into that? Frustration. I hear that word a lot. I experience frustration myself, y'all. So I get it. What else goes into this? I mean, we could go on for days, but blood, sweat, tears. Searching is like the worst part. I hear it from y'all all the time. Even for myself, when I was searching was the worst part, y'all. The worst part. What else goes into this? After you've been searching for so long, you get frustrated, you start feeling hopeless, doubt. This is what searching creates. When you aren't marketing yourself and you're doing it just haphazardly, applying and searching for everything that you can find. This is what happens. So you have doubt, frustration, you're spending hours, all this time, right? When you only have this one side. Imagine this side isn't here. When you only have this one side, this is all you have. But when you add this whole marketing system, you open up a whole new world of possibilities. A whole new world of possibilities. And this is exactly why I want to point this out. This is exactly why y'all always come to me, wrong marker. Y'all come to me and y'all say, well, I think I need another degree. I need another degree. That's what's going to help me get the job. Or I need a certificate, CRA certification. That's what's going to help me get the job. Or, Katrina, I see Katrina gave me another good one. She said disappointment when you're searching. Yes, Katrina, that's another good one. I was definitely disappointed a whole lot of times. Katrina, lack of confidence. Yes. It starts to really affect. I can't write. Lack confidence. It starts to really affect your confidence. You're so right, Katrina. So right. And this Katrina giving me so much good information, I done got lost. But back to what I was saying, y'all come to me, you say you need a certificate, right? Some people say, oh, I need to take a course, or I need to take some type of CRA training or clinical research training, or I need, going back to what I said in the beginning, or I need monitoring experience. That's what everybody's thinking, right? That's what everybody is thinking is their problem for why they aren't getting an offer or why they aren't getting interviews. But guess what, y'all? None of these things have anything to do with this process. None of these things have anything to do with this process. Having a degree specifically in and of itself does not equal job. Certificate in and of itself does not equal job. It doesn't solve your problem. The course, the training, the monitoring experience, none of these things are going to help these two things, which is awareness. None of these things are going to make the company aware of you or you are aware of the company, which ultimately is what leads you to the offer. It's not those things. Now, don't get me wrong. All of these things can be helpful and they can be an asset and they serve a place in a time. They serve a place in a time, right? But in terms of this particular system and the process for how you go from jobless to job, they're not a part of it. They just solve another problem. Now, for some people, this is applicable and you might need to get these things. But from what I see, most of y'all, the problem is marketing. And anybody that has, let's be clear, anybody that has a problem and needs any of these things, you're still going to need marketing. You're still going to need to know how to get the job at the end of the day. It doesn't go away because you all of a sudden have a degree or a certificate or training or some type of experience. None of marketing yourself doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. It's a skill that once you master, you are literally in the driver's seat of your career and you're literally taking control. And at that point, you don't have to search or hope or wonder or wish for a job ever again. Because at this point, you've created a system where you're getting jobs on repeat and you don't even have to apply. How do I know? Because I do it for myself. I do it for my clients. So this is not a myth. It's not some fairy tale story. This is reality, y'all. This is what happens when you learn how to market yourself and you know how to use this system. And I see Katrina also added another good one. She said you question yourself a lot. That's another good one, Katrina. I used to question myself all the time. Like, am I doing something wrong? What am I doing wrong? Is this for me? Should I just quit? Should I just give up? Those are the questions I asked myself when I was just focused on this one thing. And it's no fault of our own. Nobody taught us this other side. Nobody told us that there was a whole new way. Nobody told us that we could build this whole system and not just depend on this one little path, that we could have this whole. Nobody told us that. Nobody told us that. So it's not our fault. But I just wanted you guys to give you guys a visual of what can happen when you know how to market yourself and you create a job attraction system. Because when it comes to landing your job, going back to the first two things we started with, when it comes to landing a job, the only things that matter are awareness. That's it. That's the key to both pathways. Awareness. You becoming aware of the job and the job becoming aware of you. And by you creating a marketing system that then allows the job, like, you're just one person, but there's so many companies, there's so many recruiters, there's so many hiring managers out there. So just imagine all those people specifically on the LinkedIn platform that can see you, all the attention that you can get by creating this system and making people aware of your talents, your skills, the value that you bring to the table, why you make a great CRA. Imagine marketing yourself right, and all of a sudden you put yourself directly in front of all these people who are specifically looking for what you want. All you have to do is let them know, hey, I'm the best person for the job. So that's the second step after awareness. But the first thing is to make them aware of you. That's it. That's all it really is. Marketing is simply just you making companies aware of your brands. And then the next step would be you intriguing them to the point where they say, okay, we gotta bring Jesse, Katrina, Kashaw. We have to bring this person in for interview, or skipping the interview, we have to extend the offer. So just keep that in mind when you guys are thinking about this whole entire process and what I mean when I say marketing. So that's enough of my ranting. So let me look and see what questions do we have. I'm trying to scroll back up. I'm glad that you found it helpful, Katrina. And I see some other. So let me scroll back to the top. So the first question, Kashaw says, how do I start my career in clinical research? Oh my God, I just completely forgot, y'all. I told some people that I would do live on Instagram because Instagram is their platform. Oh well, I guess they missed it. Maybe I'll try to redo it on Instagram. But y'all are here, so y'all didn't miss it, right? But Kashaw, how do I start my career in clinical research? So Kashaw, same thing. Marketing is going to be your same thing that I just went through with the process of marketing. Marketing is for everybody, by the way. This is not just some CRA specific tool tactic. Anybody that's looking for a job, you need to learn how to market yourself. Anybody that's trying to sell something, period, marketing, you have to know how to market. But for you, Kashaw, on top of the marketing, I would specifically target clinical trial assistant, clinical trial associate jobs, research coordinator, study coordinators, clinical research coordinators, coordinator positions, and then in-house CRA roles. Those are like the top 3 paths that I call them the gateway positions. And those are the top 3 CRA gateway roles that I recommend to people all the time. And I did a podcast episode on that. I don't remember which episode, but if you check on my podcast and look in the descriptions, you can see which one it is. And it's Confessions of a CRA. So I talk about it more in detail there. And there are other positions too, like a study coordinator position, data entry coordinator, there's study startup specialist positions, clinical research specialists. There's all types of different titles. And it's all going to boil down to you looking at the job description and seeing what the requirements are. And that'll give you a better feel for what's entry level too. But those 3 roles are like the top positions that I always recommend for people in your shoes, Kashal. Let's see. Who else has the next question? So Lanisha says, how long do you think you should wait before switching roles, getting a new job? So Lanisha, I'm one of those people that recruiters, companies might look at my resume and say, oh my gosh, she might be a job hopper. So job hopping for me is not a negative thing. I actually have used it as a tool to get promoted and to fast track my career. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is that strategically utilized, job hopping can actually be a tool. And so I'm not going to ever tell you to stay. Put it this way, there's no minimum requirement for me. If you're somewhere and you feel like it's been 2 weeks and it's time for you to go, then it's time for you to go. Because I'm one that's always going to tell you that you're the CEO of your career. And as a CEO, you have to make those strategic decisions, and only you know what's best for you and your career. So it depends on, do you have another role lined up, or is someone extending you another offer? Is that offer better than the one that you're currently at? What is the plan behind you making this transition? What is the reason behind you making this transition? Where are you going? Is it a step up? Is it a promotion? Or is it going to be a lateral move? You have to ask yourself these questions and make a decision from there. But I'm never going to tell you that you haven't been somewhere long enough. I have to hear the circumstance to know whether or not I would encourage you to leave. But I'm never going to just point blank period say, oh, you need to be somewhere for at least 6 months. That's not how I roll. I've been talking too much. Next question is from Salima. So what's the best answer for a hiring manager when he said, we think you are overqualified for the role? I always told him or her that they won't need a lot of time training me. Are there any better answers? Well, I would particularly answer this question with a question. And I would just point blank ask them, well, what makes you think I'm overqualified? And let them tell you what they think specifically about you, your credentials, your skills, what have you, make you overqualified. And one by one, go down the line of things that they listed and show them how overqualification in that particular area is not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing for them because of the asset and the value that you bring to the company in that particular area that they think you're overqualified in. So that's the best way to turn it into a positive versus just saying you won't need a lot of training. If you can take each skill individually that they're saying, oh, because you're this or because you're that, spin it. Okay, well, great. That's beneficial to you guys because XYZ. Hope that helps, Salima. Let me know if that did or did not make sense. And if it didn't, drop another question for clarification. Let's see who else. Katrina says, I'm seeing this more and more. Yep. And then Jesse says, I can't see. BHM virtual career. Oh, Jesse is giving us a virtual career fair that you guys can join. Thanks, Jesse. Always very helpful. Katrina says, wow, this is amazing. Thank you, Katrina. Jesse also says, so I've been listening to Jasmyn's advice for 6 weeks now, and I'm moving into the final round of interviews for 2 different positions that I never submitted a job application for. Jesse, why didn't you send me a message? I would have loved to know sooner. This is amazing. Changing my LinkedIn got the recruiters to find me and put my resume right in the hiring manager's face. No app submitted. Marketing is invalid. Thank you, Jesse, for that great example, showing everybody the power of marketing. But next time, and please send me a message and let me know. And let me know how these interviews are going. You're just over there just winning and hiding. Okay. Jesse had another question. So how do you know if you should be applying to CRA academies at big CROs or just applying straight to CRA roles? The academies seem very competitive. Great question, Jesse. So I always say both. And let me tell you why. So there's some positions like the big CROs, like Jesse mentioned, they do have those academies, right? They're still entry-level CRA 1 positions though. Depending on the company, they structure them a little bit differently because some of them will have academies where there's levels and you start out as like maybe a coordinator or something and then you have to work your way up. Whereas other academies, like the one that I was in, was an accelerated one and it was 6 weeks of training. But you started out as a CRA II, actually. There was 6 weeks of training and then you were just thrown in the in the fire. Baptism by fire. Literally. I remember it plain as day. My first visit was a closeout visit in Puerto Rico and I cried because it was so awful. But it just depends on the CRO and the company in terms of how they structure their academy, whether it's like because the ones where it's like levels, it might be a 12-month program. And then, like I said, ones like mine, it was just 6 weeks. So I would apply for the academies, but then there are also some other companies, a lot of times they're on the sponsor side where they have just CRA 1 positions and they are still entry level and they will still train you, but it's structured differently, unlike the academies where it's like, they're bringing in large groups at one time, training them type of thing. When you see these CRA 1 roles, like these one-off roles, here and there, they might bring 2 or 3 in at a time, but it's not like a large group. I think I had like maybe 30 people in my group at that time. I think it was somewhere around that. But there's a difference between 2 or 3 people and then like 30, right? So Jesse, I would say apply to the academies at the CROs and any CRA 1 position that you see or any CRA position that you see that requires less than 2 years of experience, I would apply for. So that's how you would know. Did I answer? Let me see. And then you said the academy seemed very competitive. They are competitive, but it doesn't matter because you're Jesse and you're great and you're amazing. And as long as you can show them how your talents, your skills stand out above the competition, you can even marketing, y'all will literally make them hire you over someone that actually does have monitoring experience. If you know how to market yourself right, 100% hands down. I've seen it happen. When you know how to market yourself, you can beat the competition that has monitoring experience. So take that one in for a second. I hope that helped, Jesse. Let me know if it did not. Kashal says, but my job ad prefer a certified or experienced candidate. Kashal, could you please clarify? I'm not exactly 100% sure what you mean by that. Katrina says the visual is helpful. So happy that it helps, Katrina. Katrina asks, I want to know, is the premium on LinkedIn a good investment? Great question, Katrina. Great question. So it depends. Premium allows you features that if you want to take an active, aggressive approach to building your network, creating the CRA contact list that I was talking about, that's when premium can come in hands because you can connect with people that are not meaning send them messages. You can send people messages who are not your first contacts. If you don't have premium, then the only way you can send people messages is by requesting that they connect with you and then you guys being first connections and then you can send them a message. But with premium, you can send people messages even if you're not a first connection. Now, there's one caveat. You only get X amount of messages that you can send to people per month. So that's the caveat. But I will say if used correctly and in a strategic way, you have more than enough that you need to make it work for you. There's also a couple other features that come in handy with the premium, like, for instance, taking the courses. They have a lot of different trainings and courses that you can take. That's another one of the benefits. And there's a couple other perks, too, that are beneficial if you're taking a more aggressive active approach to not just job searching, but building your personal brand and your marketing platform. It's always beneficial in those areas. But you can also do the same without the premium account. Let's not get that. I don't want you guys to get confused and be like, Jasmyn said I have to have it to build. No, you don't. You don't. You honestly don't. And I go on and off with having it. I think I have it right now, but I go on and off depending on what my specific goal is at the time. So if you're a person that's in the process of building that your network and building your brand and marketing yourself, I would say it's a good investment. And of course you can always try it out. I think they give you the first 30 days for free, and if not, reach out to the help desk because LinkedIn is more than willing to let you try it out for free, and then you can go from there. So let's see. Katrina says, do you record your lives? Yes, I do actually. All of my lives are recorded. Of course, the replays are available here and then also over on YouTube and then also on Facebook. So the replays are available there at all times and then it's recorded. So I download the record. So yes. But yes, so in case for those people who did not know, the replay I recorded on YouTube and Facebook. And then like I said, I'm working on Instagram. With the technical difficulties, I completely forgot about it. But I'll do something for them. Somebody asked, research associate, is it a gateway too? So that's another great question. It depends. You have to look you have to look at the job description very closely when you see research associate jobs because they might be talking about bench science research, meaning preclinical, meaning at the lab, meaning running experiments, dealing with test tubes and or mice or cell lines. It could be that research associate type of job, or it could be clinical research. So look at the job description. It just depends. But yes, that could be another good one. Okay, Kashal, thumbs up. Lanisha, thank you. Okay. I don't see any more questions. We've done half an hour, but I'll see if people have any more questions. So drop your questions in the comments. That may be all. Y'all are thinking about what I said. I did give y'all a whole lesson to start with. So maybe we're still thinking about that. And if you have any questions about anything that I said at the beginning, feel free to ask about that too. I definitely want to clarify. Salima says, so after 1 month of an interview, I reached the hiring manager and he told me that they are still interviewing candidates. What's the next step? Salima, can you be more specific? Did you mean that after a month after you interviewed, then you reached out to the hiring manager? Is that what you mean? And that he told you that they're still interviewing candidates? Please clarify a little bit more. I think that's what you mean, but I want to make sure. So let me know what you mean. Clarify with that. And then okay. And then while she's clarifying, so for those of you who don't know, I do have a 6-month mentorship program where I help clinical research professional women confidently land their first CRA job offer, struggle and frustration free, all without any monitoring experience or CRA certification, just simply through teaching you how to brand, market, and sell yourself. And the program includes an initial onboarding call where we immediately assess and revamp your resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile. And don't worry if you don't even have any one of these things put together because we can build it from scratch. You also get 6 months of private one-on-one coaching with me. You get direct messaging support with me so that we can communicate outside of the calls. You'll get on-demand immediate access to my signature curriculum, online curriculum, where you can access anywhere in the world, anytime. You get a mock interview with a recruiter. And then you also get bonus courses on negotiating a high-paying offer and then fast-tracking your career. So you get all that and more when you decide to work with me. And I'm currently still accepting one-on-one private clients. So if you're ready to take your career to the next level, then visit aspiringcra.com to book a sales call. So I don't see Salima. Okay, you say yes. So bringing the question back up. So if you interviewed, a month has passed since you interviewed, and then you reached out to the hiring manager, and their response was, "We're still interviewing candidates." That's their response. So I'm always going to be the one that tell you to take a more direct, assertive approach. And if I got that response from a recruiter or hiring manager, or one of my clients got that response, then I would say, awesome. Thank you so much for getting back to me. Do you have, or can you provide a date on when you plan to make a decision, or when you would like to make a decision? And then I will also include something about, is there anything else do you have any objections? Which this is, by the way, one of the questions that I tell you to ask at the end of the interview. So if you follow, and I did a whole radical interview series, podcast series on my podcast. And this is included in the series. So that's been going on for the month of, it started in January, and then it's spread it. I think this week is the last episode. But it's been going on for the month of January, the month of February. So check that out, because I tell you exactly what to ask during the interview, so that you can avoid being in this position in the future, Salima. But let's say we're here and you didn't ask these questions. So I would ask, what objections do you have with me, or my background, my experience, however you want to word it. You always want to put your flavor on it. So what objections do you have, or what reservations do you have with bringing me in for the position? Is there anything else that I can address for you? You want to take a direct, assertive approach. Let them know that, number one, hey, I'm here to answer any other questions, doubts, concerns that you may have about me and my capabilities. And then number two, when are you expected to make a decision, so that you can decide when you should or should not follow back up? So those are the two main things that you want to get across when you follow up with the hiring manager. Let me know if that makes sense, Salima, or if you have any other questions. And then I see Jesse says, not a question, but maybe another podcast topic could be talking about benefits and bonuses to expect. People talk about salary, but never beyond that. No, you're right. That is a great suggestion. And actually, I can't remember what Q&A session, but I actually got that as a question in a Q&A session a couple of sessions back. I want to say it was like at the beginning of January, but no, having a podcast episode about that would be fabulous. And I'm actually, so for March, I am doing a March Madness recruiter series with Angela Roberts. And every Tuesday at 8 p.m. in March, we are going to be coming on live together, and you'll be able to, we're going to cover a topic, but you'll also be able to ask her questions directly. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is salary. So I'll also incorporate that. Thanks for that suggestion, Jesse, because I'll also incorporate that into the question list. So you don't want to miss that. Like I said, every Tuesday in March, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be on together, and you'll get to hear directly from a CRA recruiter, Angela Roberts. And next week, I'm going to be bringing in two experts. So Tuesday and Thursday live. Tuesday 8 p.m., Thursday 7 p.m. live. Tuesday we'll have a personal branding expert, and then Thursday we'll have a self-marketing expert that comes on, and you'll get to hear from both of them, and you'll get to ask questions to them, so that you can. I really want you guys to really start investing in branding and marketing yourself, because that's how you take control of your career. And yes, I want to help people break into the clinical research space. I want to help people become CRAs, but more than that, it's bigger than that for me. More than that, I want you guys to take back ownership of your careers. I want you to step into that CEO role, and I want you to be able to create the career and the life of your dreams. That's awesome. That's my ultimate goal for everybody. So whether you work with me or not. So branding, marketing experts next week. And let me see. I don't see any other questions. Selena says yes, thank you. Thanks, Jasmine. So I don't see any other questions, so we're going to go ahead and end and wrap it up tonight. But as always, you guys know that I love doing these lives and spending time with you. If you have any questions in between now and next Monday, you know where to find me. DM me on LinkedIn. If you're joining us from somewhere else that's not LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place to be if you're trying to brand and market yourself to build a career of your dreams. So thank you guys for joining me as always. And I hope you guys have a good night and you enjoy the rest of your week. Blow it.